Oh, it was huge, Scott. And Scott, didn't it feel like 1995 again, the way that the refs allowed the physicality, the hand checking, the intensity? And when you talk about Jimmy Butler, he embraces all that. I mean, he's the Swiss Army knife. Whatever you want him to do, he's going to do it. For us cutting to the basket, getting stops, getting to the free throw line, timely buckets, making sure he gets to the rack. And I thought that rebound was huge. That rebound was huge in the final possession. Going up there skying and getting in the monster of the trenches with the big fellas to go secure that rebound. After we witnessed what Aaron Gordon did against the Clippers on the offensive rebound to seal the game, I thought that was huge. Great game all across the board for Jimmy Butler. But this is what he's brought to the table for the Golden State Warriors, Scott. He's giving them life.
If that bucket goes for Sengun and Houston wins, we're having a completely different conversation. I don't want to miss what that young man did in this game. They went to him. It's a clear out against against Draymond, who's going to do what Draymond does. He's going to guard. Did it look rushed to you? I mean, everything he does is a little bit unique to his own style. I don't know. What'd you see?
It is, and look, let me tell you something. This young man is special. Sengun, I call him Baby Jokic. He has the complete package offensively. It's nothing that he can't do, Scott. And again, we have to realize this. You're going against a guy who has a lot of pride, one of the greatest defenders we've ever seen in Draymond Green. And I did think he could have got a better shot. I thought he could have took his time a little bit more, but it's a learning experience for them. This is his first time in the postseason, first time having to be the go-to guy, especially in that hostile environment on the road, but he's going to be fine in the near future.
I'm going to squeeze in one more quick one on Houston because it's like, look, they're a 2 seed and they got all the talent, and it is a learning experience, right? And you're going up against a proud team that's got championship DNA. Down 3-1, I'm not burying them, I'm not getting a shovel out, but it feels like a steep hill to climb out of, even as talented as they are, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's over with, Scott.
Okay.
They dead
I'll let
bird,
you
tall
say.
grass. You can cancel it. And, yeah, it's over with, Scott. It's over with. Even if they get Game 5 in Houston, they're losing in Game 6. Because, I mean, you need more, right? Fred VanVleet was fantastic, but the guy who's been inconsistent and been a complete no-show except for one game in this series is Jaylen Green, right? And his game has to carry over on the road, and we haven't seen it this series.
Great game. Energy, effort, poise, experience versus youth. It was everything we thought it would be.
But what's really amazing, you asked the question yesterday about when a team is better than the other team, how can they lose? Doing stupid stuff. And you just said your answer. Like, they just played basketball in the second half. They were down, I think, 7 at the half, but for doing stupid stuff. But
you think the Warriors are a better team than them, or it was?
Well, I think, listen, they got more experience, but when they don't screw around, because the Warriors, they don't have really a go-to guy. Jaylen Green was MIA again tonight.
You mean the Rockets?
The Rockets, excuse me.
Shaq?
I talked about Buddy Hield and those guys hitting shots. So Buddy.
I was going to say, you called that at halftime on Hield.
Yeah, Buddy and how you say his name?
Podziemski.
Yeah, Podziemski. Play well. Well.
Hield had 15, Podziemski 26, Jimmy Butler 27 in this game on a night when Steph Curry had 17.
Others, baby.
24 points the first 3 games for Podziemski, 26.
Yeah, but it was some great coaching out there tonight on 2 fronts. Give Steve Kerr credit for getting Adams starting the hack thing that got him.
Hack a Kiwi.
Yeah, he took him out the game, and that was a really big deal because that opened up the lane because he blocked like 4 or 5 shots.
He had 4 blocks. Yeah.
But also give Emmy credit because the reason Buddy Hield and Podziemski was going off, he took the ball out of Steve Kerr's hands, and they got all those shots.
Of Steph Curry's.
Out of Steph Curry's hands. He only got 12 attempts. So it was some really good coaching going on out there tonight.
I mean, you know, I'm always big on the others, and you know, I was kind of hard on Buddy Hield. I showed 4 missed shots, and he hit some nice, important, timely shots. Podziemski?
Yeah.
Podziemski played well. Butler played well, and you know, when you got the others stepping in, hitting timely shots, Chuck and King talks about this all the time. When you're the guy, you don't have to play well all the time because the others play well. Now,
26 ain't time, but he was the man. So, he was one of the men.
Now they need to close them out in Houston because Houston's a young, feisty team, and I'm sure they're in the locker room saying, hey, we could have won this one, and they're going to be confident. They're going to be home. Their others are going to play well. So the question is, can Golden State close them out?
Rockets 48-28 in the paint in this game. Second chance points, the Warriors 21-14 as they lead that department. Jaylen Green situation, you said you wanted to talk about that, and here's a guy, last 5 minutes of the game, your leading scorer is not playing.
But I said before the game, before you can become a great player, and Amy talked about it, you got to do other stuff to help the team. Like, he gets in a fog when he's not scoring, and he's just out. Think about that. This is a guy who we were bragging about all season, saying it's going to be close on him making an all-star team. He's had single digits 3 out of 4. First of all, he had 38 one game, and he's had single digits the other 3 games. That can't happen. That cannot happen.
Yeah, but for a young player.
No, he's not that young. He had 38 a game ago. You can't go from 38 to 8.
You're right.
You can go from 38 to 20, 24. Right. You can't go single digits.
You're absolutely right. But for a young player, it's growing pains. He has to somehow figure that out.
Well, I don't know if you guys did this, but
no,
you guys. I'm not this. I'm saying what I'm about to say, because you guys had a dominance that may be different. But for a guy like myself, or a guy like Jaylen who's trying to get to that level, I always said you have to come to the arena knowing that you're going to do 3 things, regardless of what's going to happen. So my 3 things was, okay, I'm going to pressure the ball. I'm going to push the ball from free throw line to free throw line as fast as I can. And when I don't have the ball and it goes inside, I'm sprinting to the open shot, the 3. So every night I just knew those 3 things could be consistent. And I think that when I look at Jaylen, I'm not sure he has much more offensive things in his tool belt than myself or guys that I'm talking about. But he should come to the arena and say, these 3 things I'm going to do, regardless of what happens.
So I'm looking at the stats now. I'll make sure it's the whole game. For that kid that don't have 8 shots, that is ridiculous. Like Reggie Miller used to say, Larry Bird would say to him, you're not having a good game. He said, yeah, I know. I'm like 3 for 10. He says, yeah, that's not what I mean. You need to be 3 for 17. You don't ever, you can't be the man and only shoot 8 times. You don't even know if you hot, cold, or whatever. Because first of all, he's actually 3 for 8, which is not a great percentage, but it ain't brutal.
I know if he makes the next 2, he's 50%.
Yeah, but I don't understand how a guy that talented.
He just doesn't come to the arena, Chuck. Yeah, like obviously, I don't know.
Listen,
knowing I could do this every night.
But he should come to the gyms every day. Would you say this? I'm gonna get 15 to 20 shots every game.
How?
If I'm making my threes, because he was making the game here at 38. But if I'm not making threes, I'm getting to the basket. But my point is, he got a green light.
Yeah, and he doesn't sprint out enough to me on the break.
He should never have.
He's too talented. Well, how about this? He's just too talented
to have 8 shots.
That's it. He's just too talented.
Let's hear what Steve Kerr has to say about the Warriors' win.
Then, of course, knocking down the free throws to clinch it. Jimmy was just amazing.
What was going through your head when you saw that the final defensive stop unfold with Sengun versus Draymond and then the Jimmy rebound?
Well, what was going through my head was call a timeout. Either way, made or miss, we wanted to get the timeout so we get Steph back in. I just thought, Dre, played phenomenal defense with 5 fouls, most of the fourth quarter. He's out there. And so he did a brilliant job. And we were able to get Sengun forced out a little bit further than he'd been for most of the fourth. So it made it a tougher shot. And then, as I said, Jimmy made an amazing rebound.
And I know you don't like to use the word solved, but to take a 3-1 lead with everything they've thrown at you guys, do you feel like you have, all the answers at this point?
No, we don't have any answers. Every game's different. Tonight they they just hammered us with Adams, 26 minutes. I bet that's a season high for him. I don't know, but Raymond would know if he actually did his job as PR director. But yes, correct? Okay, thank you. You're stepping into playoff mode? Playoff Raymond? But no, I just think every game's different, and they made big adjustments tonight, playing that double big lineup more, playing Green less. But next game could be entirely different as well. So all these things unfold differently each game, and you have to adapt and adjust while it's going on.
Not to kind of over.
Another factor in this game, 19 out of 31 from the foul line for the Houston Rockets. Man, you missed 12 free throws in a game like this.
You know what's really crazy? The difference between being 3-1 and 2-2?
Yeah.
Like, they've actually played well enough to win all 4 games. And now their back is literally against the wall. But I think if you ask them, and Kenny, you agree with me, they've actually played well enough to win all 4 of these games.
Nope.
But so has Golden State.
I know that, but I'm talking about the Rockets. I'm talking about the Rockets.
I mean, the Golden State could say, the Rockets could say that, but the Golden State Warriors would never say that we played poor enough to lose.
No, but I'm saying
so sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, you play a game, we stole this one. We didn't play well.
No.
I don't think Golden State has played out of character.
I'm just talking about from a Rockets perspective.
Okay, yeah, they played great though. Yeah,
they played great in all 4 games, which is crazy.
And they are down 3-1 after the 109-106 win for Golden State again.
So as you see, the Golden State Warriors did it again because they won this game, which puts them up 3-1 and has them win 109-106. Now this was a fantastic game, do not get me wrong, and when you look at the score sheet, you definitely see where Golden State Warriors went right and also where they can improve in order to close this out in the next game. Now obviously Golden State Warriors do lead 3-1 and they do have all the momentum on their side to finish off this job. Now, obviously, looking at Golden State Warriors, you probably already know, but Brandon Podziemski was definitely a standout in this performance. He did such a fantastic job playing that role player role, and when they needed him most, he was able to provide. He had 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He also went 9 from 18 from the field and went 6 from 11 from the three-point line. It's safe to say that Steph Curry taught him a thing or two, but looking at Brandon Podziemski throughout this whole series has definitely been great. His development as a player has definitely improved quite a lot. And I think if the Golden State Warriors not only just want to win this series, but also win an NBA championship, players like Podziemski, like other role players, need to step up because it could be definitely a very, very good time for them. Now, looking at Jimmy Butler as well, who just came back from a slight injury. He was feeling good in this game. You can definitely tell he wasn't 100% there, but the fact he was able to play through it, I think, was honestly very, very respectable to him. Kudos to him. And also, it is great to have him back as well because he came out, had a performance because he had 27 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. And I think this was great to see that other players were starting to step up due to the fact that Steph Curry, obviously, with a lot of the defense really focused in on around him, he was only able to get 17 points in this matchup. He still did have a good shooting field goal night, 6 from 13, so definitely not bad whatsoever. But I think the greatest thing about this is that Steph didn't force any shots. He tried to get his team involved, and that's when they definitely showed out. And that's what we definitely need from, Golden State Warriors moving forward. There is going to be a lot of tension on, Steph Curry to try to get and stop him as much as they can. And that's where other players need to step up, whether that's Butler, whether that's Podziemski, or even Buddy Hield. And that's why it's going to be super, super important coming into this next game to seal the deal and beat the Houston Rockets. Now, the Golden State Warriors didn't actually shoot too well because when you look on a percentage basis, you actually did see that Golden State Warriors did shoot 42% from the field, while the Houston Rockets did shoot 49%. So Houston actually shot very well. Now, they did take quite a few less shots than actually Golden Golden State Warriors. But, on top of things, we definitely saw Warriors be able to get the looks that they wanted, and that's why they were shooting at will. And defensively, it definitely did show. Now, although Houston Rockets did out-rebound Golden State Warriors, I think it was great to see that defensively they were still able to really lock down players at times. Now, Alperen Sengun still did have 31 points, while Fred VanVleet did have 25. Yes, there were players that definitely did have their way. However, we do believe, big players make big plays, and they're definitely going to do that. You just have to restrict them as much as possible and get yourself going on offense, and that's what the Golden State Warriors did very, very well. Now, coming into this next matchup, it can definitely be all over, and we are expecting, Warriors to definitely finish this out due to the fact that, they want to get this game and series done over with all the momentum on their side. Houston look a bit defeated, and as we all know, Houston doesn't have too much playoff experience. It's definitely a different sort of game when we hit playoff time compared to the regular season, and that's where Houston has definitely had a lot of issues and where they see themselves struggling. Warriors have been outsmarting them and outplaying them, and I definitely see that continuing on into this next game. I think coming into the next matchup, obviously Houston are going to make some adjustments, so Warriors need to be ready for that in order, to really get this going. I think their offense needs to remain very, very strong. So, hopefully no injuries moving forward, especially in the next game. Hopefully everyone plays healthy. But as of right now, the Golden State Warriors have all the momentum, and it does seem that they can close the deal here in this next matchup. No doubt about it.